Hello, dear students. So now today we would move ahead in this first chapter of class 10th history, that is the rise of nationalism in Europe. So we were discussing making of nationalism in Europe. So many points we have discussed there. So some more points are there. The next point in this one heading is the landed aristocracy. Now if you see, the landed aristocracy was a class of people, okay, means which were having the huge amount of properties, okay. They were having the huge amount of properties there, so they were known as the they were coming under the landed aristocracy class, okay. So landed aristocracy class was the dominant class in the Europe, because they were having the huge amount of property, so their dominance was there in entire Europe, okay. But they were very small in number. They were very small in number. They had a common way of life also. All the people which are there in the landed aristocracy class, they were having common way of life, and they connected with each other by the marriage ties also, okay. They are getting married with each other also, so that is how they are connected also in entire Europe, okay. So this was a class there in Europe, landed aristocracy, isn't it? Okay, now let's discuss the next point. And this is the next point here. So if you see the western part of the Europe, you have the Europe, this continent here, comprising many, around 200, means many countries here, okay. Now if you see the western part of the Europe, if you see the western part of the Europe here, if you see the western part of the Europe, so it consists of the small landowners were there, means they were the kind of people which are having small land there, okay. So there means they were having the western part of the Europe consists of small landowners, okay. Now if you compare, if you compare it to the eastern part, so eastern part of the Europe had large estate owners here, because the people who are here having the large estate, so they must be coming under the landed aristocracy class, because in the landed aristocracy class, the people under the landed aristocracy class was also having the large estates there, isn't it? So the eastern part of the Europe comprises of the large estate owners, and the western part of the Europe comprises of small landowners there, okay. Now if you see the western and the central, the western and the central part of the Europe, here this is the central part of the Europe, here we have the industrial growth. We would be talking about this industrialization, I think in chapter number 5 there, okay. So but here you just think, you just know it, okay. Western and the central Europe, there you have the industrial growth also, okay. And the industrialization process was first started in England there, okay. It was first started in England, then later on in France and Germany also. That is why these countries have colonies around the world. If you see, they came in India with this industrialization process, okay. They came, they went around the world, okay. They settled their colonies there on the basis of this industrialization. That we will be talking in detail in the upcoming chapters, okay. So we can say the industrialization process was started first in England, then later on in France and Germany as well, okay. So these is how the Europe was divided there. So these are some new points there that you have to write. So during that time, where was the nationalism kind of feelings were evolving there in the Europe? That time, if you see, during that time in Europe, there was the feeling of liberalism also. Liberalism means like it talks about the freedom of all the individuals. Okay, like mean whatever we want to do, means whatever the profession we just choose. Okay, so means we are free to do. Okay, so it talks about the freedom of all the individuals, and it talks about the equality of all before law, because before law all are same. So liberalism means it talks about the equality of all before law, whether it is a common man or it's you can say a king, so both are same or before the law, equal before the law. So it talks about this, okay. And it stood as an end of the autocracy also, where we have the autocracy means everything which is not there in the hand of the people, autocracy is there, okay. And clerical privileges are also there. The people who are in the higher classes having some kind of rights or privileges which are not there with the common man. So it stands for the end of all these. So this is the liberalism. So liberalism talks about all these. So liberalism kind of feeling was there during that time in Europe, okay. Means the people were talking about the liberalism kind of feeling also. That is why the industrialization process also started there, and that is how they came. They just went around the world. They settled their colonies there on the basis of the this liberalism, isn't it? Yeah. So they were talking about the liberalism also. Okay. So this was the feeling there in the Europe. Okay. So that is all for today. Would be discussing a few more points in the upcoming lectures about this making of nationalism in Europe. Till then, stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you. Have a good day.